Hey, you guys. How's things? It's smoky here. So, I've had a few emails from people around the country who have expressed concern and asked how we were doing. I live in Washington State. I'm in Spokane. Um, just FYI. Um, we do have some fires that are like north of us. Couple of big fires up north. One I think in Inchelium, close to the Canadian border. Nothing serious burning near Spokane, so that's good. But we have had massive clouds of smoke the last couple of days. And honestly, I was in bed all day yesterday. I had a headache all day. I do have an air purifier and stuff like that. So I've had that running full blast and windows all closed up and everything. So it's like, oh my God, that's just what we needed, you know? It's like we're locked in and closed in now. And yeah, so but it's supposed to clear out sometime today with there's some weather coming through. So hopefully the smoke will start to clear out, but I'm sure it'll be back as winds start bringing smoke up north. So anyway, rain would be great. So everybody, please pray for rain for all of California, all of Oregon, all of Washington, and yeah, hopefully they can get it under control. The firefighters are just spread so thin. It's like, there's just not enough of them to fight it. So pray for rain, everybody. So I will try not to chat for 20 minutes before I get to the crafting, as I was told on my last video. But anyway, so I'm on this pocket thing and also trying to rebuild my stash, and so that I have lots of stuff to choose from when I go to make another series of journals. I basically have cleared out my whole stash. So with those ring-bound journals, I did these, really fat bundles of bunch of stuff with each one of those. I am working on the monthly bundles. Those so just in case anybody's wondering about those, so those are on by subscription. So I have now started doing those through my Etsy shop for lots of reasons, but I'm doing those through my Etsy shop. So if you are a subscriber to the monthly junk journal kit / bundle and you have not gotten an invoice from me for that, go check my Etsy shop, because you have a listing there that is waiting to get paid. And I listed those all. I put those all up on the first of the month, and I hope that they get paid by the 5th, so I know how many of those I need to make to have ready to mail out around the 15th. Okay, so just a heads up, anybody who is already subscribed to the monthly junk journal bundle, go check my Etsy shop. There's a listing there with your name on it, and just waiting for you to pay for it. If it doesn't get paid for by, I'm going to say today, then I'm going to just delete the listing and you won't get your bundle. So just saying, there's 5 or 6 of them that are still there. So, and if anybody else is interested in signing up for that, let me know, and I can start you for November, and you will have a listing there in my shop November 1st. If those 5 or 6 people that I'm waiting to, on, if they don't, pay the listing, then I will have 5 more at least slots open. So anyway, let me know what you want to do. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm on this pocket thing, and I'm also just like going through all my stuff because I can't get out shopping, and I'm on this like not hoarding my things and building up my stash. So anyway, I did do a bunch of these little pockets that I showed last time. I was going to do a zigzag stitch all the way around all of them, but you know what? I realized that just is going to take way too long. So I just did a straight stitch, and I just did them all on postcards. And so these all have like three little pockets on the front. Okay, so those will get used in the Reader's Digest, most likely vertically. I don't know, maybe I won't use these in the Readers, because some of them I like to go this way and they're too wide for the Reader's Digest, so who knows. And you know what, I could also just paper clip this in to the journal, you know, and that way people could use them however they want. But yeah, so I wound up doing quite a few of those, I think right around 20 or so, and I did them all with the wallpaper, with that old wallpaper. So okay, so I did those, and I like how they turned out. I probably will add a tab or maybe some kind of fabric, or maybe a little eyelet and a charm, or you know, some kind of other embellishment on these down the road. Just depends on, you know, depends on where I want to use them. Okay, so those are those. And then I was like, okay, I really want to make some of those ones that have the slots, you know, some of those, like, I know there's a die cut that you can buy. I don't know who makes it, but it makes those little pockets like this. So you have these little slots. And I thought that would be a really cool thing to use. A lot of the scrapbook paper that I made, the you know, Franken paper, whatever you want to call it, collage stuff. That would be fun to use some of that for these. So I did wind up making a bunch of them, and I backed them with some color, just some solid color cardstock, because I have an entire drawer in a filing cabinet full of just solid color cardstock. And since, well, I don't really make cards anymore, I want to use up that paper. So anyway, so I just did a bunch of different colors on those, but I thought I'm going to make more of them because I think they're cool. These are not finished. I will wind up doing some stitching around the border and probably add a tab, or you know, like a little label, or you know, some other little things. But I thought what would be fun would be to do some with some of the, like, just floral images that I have, that I just don't know what else to do with them. A lot of them, these are just book pages from that Florilegium book. So I thought some of these would be kind of cool to make pockets with. And then I've got this, just this whole box full of just different botanical stuff. Okay, just all these, you know, tons of just book pages and yeah, so all kinds of stuff. A lot of these, like this bundle here, are, well, these are from like that it's that French botanical book that I'm hoarding the pages from, which I need to stop doing that. Anyway, a lot of these were from some design book. It was like a Dover design book, and I just backed them onto some cardstock. And so these were, I was intending to use these just as pages in journals. But there's a lot that are just like they're too big to use that way. Anyway, so they've just been sitting here in this box. So I want to try to use some of those images as pockets, and also more of those, the Florilegium pages where I've just done some stitching around the edges of some of these images. So I want to make some of those into pockets, and then some other just random botanical book pages. some fruits and stuff. Anyway, it's just a whole hodgepodge of just flowery botanical stuff. So a lot of these I will wind up gluing onto some kind of cardstock or some kind of, you know, old scrap of paper that I don't want to use, and I'll make these into pockets like that. But I thought it would be kind of fun to show you guys, just, you know, if you've never made those, or if you don't have that die cut to cut those out. I think it's a Tim Holtz die cut. I don't know. I don't have it, so I'm not sure. But I thought I want to make some different sizes of those. So I thought, okay, well, I'll just kind of show you guys how I made my templates and how I did the, you know, the cutting. So I just cut out, so I wanted to do like just like a single little pocket. So I cut out one that's 4.5 by 2. The rest of, because I wanted it to be more long and skinny, you know. And then I did 3 other sizes. Okay, so these are all 4 inches wide. One is 3 inches, one 4 inches, and one 6 inches. Those ones that I showed you just now, those are all 4 by 6. So, but I thought I would just show you how I did the template. And then I also thought it would be fun to do some circles. And if you have any like really large paper punches, or if you have like a Cricut or a scan and cut or some kind of cutting machine, you can just cut out a bunch of like large circles or different shapes like hearts or whatever, stars and moons and stuff like that. And you can make these little pockets. So let's just start out with the 4 by 6. So basically this is my template where I'm going to mark where my holes are going to be. Because, hold on, hold the phone. So I did this by punching a hole on the end of each one of those lines. And so just to get those straight and in the right position, I went in, I think I did, how much did I go in on that? Okay, I did a 1/2 inch. Yeah, I think I did a 1/2 inch. That looked a little bit narrower than that, but we'll do 1/2 inch. And then 1/2 inch. You like my 13-inch ruler? Isn't that cool? So I'm just gonna make a line. It's a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch. Okay, and then I really need to sharpen this pencil. Okay, and then I think I did 1.5 inches. Yeah, so these are all 1.5 inches on this larger one. They're 1.5 inches is the spread. 1.5 inches, and then let's see, so then it would be 3 inches and then 4.5 inches. So this one, 1.5 inches, 3 inches, and 4.5, and then mark these lines. And this is just so I can get my holes like spaced out correctly. And okay, so at each one of the intersections, I'm just going to take my awl and punch a hole right there. Kind of like when you're doing a template for, you know, binding a journal or something. Same idea. And I'm punching this, I'm pushing this kind of far down on the awl so that I get a somewhat large hole. And then let's just do one on something simple. Let's see, is that 6 inches? That's about 6 inches. Okay, so then I want to cut my piece that I'm going to use for the pockets, or for the pocket. Make sure that's 6 inches. I think it is. It's just, yeah, it's right at 6 inches. And then I'm just going to line that up on there, turn it over, and use my Sharpie. Use my Sharpie on the back. Mark my dots. Okay, and then I'm going to take my crocodile, and I can, so the reason I'm using the Sharpie is because I can see it through this hole in the crocodile. If you don't have a crocodile, so that you can see where your hole is, I'm not sure what to say, but you might be able to just kind of hold your hole punch like sideways to see your punches. Or you could actually mark out the lines on the back of your pocket, and then you would know where to line up your punch. Just, you know, you would just punch at each of those intersections. Of course, you would have to do it on the back of each one that you make. As I'm obviously making multiples of these at one time, I'll cut out like 6 or 8 of these, and then I'll just mark on the back of one of them, and then I can hold them all together and punch them all at the same time with the crocodile. Anyway, so then I've got my holes lined up, and then you want to make sure you have a really like a new blade in your X-Acto. Okay, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see a little better. And I'm really sorry about the glare. There isn't anything I can do about it right now. That's just the way it is. But oh, where did I put that little? And you know what? It's so funny. I swear, I had a metal ruler, and I don't know what happened to it. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my ruler, and I'm going to line it up at close to the top of each of those punched circles, ever so slightly, not all the way to the top of it, just slightly below the top of that little circle. Okay, and then I'm going to try not to cut my ruler, cut from one circle to the other. And then I'm just going to eyeball, leaving, oh my gosh, maybe a 1/16 of an inch, just barely above the bottom of that little circle that I punched, and cut that second strip. So then I get like a little bit of a gap, you know, so it's not closed. I want that to be open, you know. And then just do that on all of these lines. You don't have to press extremely hard. It's better if you wear your glasses too. Just saying. You don't have to press extremely hard. You know, if it's a new blade, it'll cut through pretty easily. Let me do this last one. I thought it might be might be easy to scan one of these, cut it out like on black paper or something, and then scan it, and then I could cut that out with my scan and cut. But this really isn't that much work. So anyway, so I do that, and then I thought it would look nice to have an eyelet in the end of each one of those. Place that after I cut out those strips. These eyelets are from Hobby Lobby. I buy them. There's 600 in a pack. It's an assortment of 6 different metallic, well, I guess there's 4 metallic colors, 1 white and then 1 black. And I never even try to choose a color. I just dump them all into a container, and whatever I grab is what I use. Anyway, so then I've got that, and then since I'm trying to use up my cardstock, let's do some green. So part of the reason that I like to use I thought to use the eyelets was because it would help to kind of create a little bit of a gap, so that when this is glued down, it's easier to get your paper to slide into that slot, because the eyelets will be just ever so slightly raised off of the backing paper, and it does make it easier. Plus, I think it makes those pockets a little bit sturdier, you know, like less likely to tear at the ends. So, and then I know some people have done these where they don't, you know, glue at the bottom of some of these pockets. Like, so when you put something in there, like when you put your tag in, it would go all the way down to the bottom. But I wanted to make mine so that my tags or whatever I put in these pockets, because I just want to use these for like little ephemera and little tags and stuff and tickets and whatnot. So there needs to be a stop there, so that things don't fall down and get lost later on, you know. That would kind of suck if you know, put little things in there and they got lost down below the opening of your pocket. It would be kind of hard to get that out, especially if it was glued onto the cover of a book. You might be able to get it out if it was just glued onto a page, but anyways, you know what I mean. So, and then I also want to put some glue here at the top of this slot, just to be sure that nothing gets stuck up underneath it. Like when it's glued down, I want this to be glued flat so that nothing gets stuck up underneath that. You know what I'm saying? You're picking up what I'm laying down, you guys. Anyway, you decide what you want to do, but that's what I'm doing. So I'm just going to use a teeny tiny bit of art glitter glue right around the edges. I was using my score tape, but this is easier and it's faster. So I'm going to apply just a little bit of glue there, and then on all of those. Okay, so I just added some glue at the top, on the top of each one of the lines. Try not to move this around when you lay it down, because you just want your glue right on those really thin little lines. You don't want it moving around and squishing around underneath there, you know. Okay, so that's pretty much it. And then I'm going to do some stitching around the border. I thought it would look nice to add some photo corners on these two. I have a whole bunch. I just have a ton of photo corners that I want to try to use. And yeah, so now, you know, it's easier to get your little item in there. It won't slide down, and they won't get lost if it happens to slip up underneath that. Like, there's no way for it to get lost. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so there's that. And then, I mean, all kinds of different ways you can embellish that, right? I mean, I think that would just be really pretty to use an image like this. And you know, to do that, I would just take my template and sort of lay it over the top, however, you know, I think it'll line up nicely. And then, you know, just trace around that, and then cut it out, you know, and you know, maybe glue this. Oh, actually, that side's a little better. And then glue this onto something a little bit more sturdy to use it as a pocket, you know, even though that paper is actually kind of thick, so I think it might be okay by itself. Anyway, so I haven't done these yet. I think this one, the 4x4 one, I think I'm also going to do 3 pockets in this one, but they'll be a little bit closer together. So I'll just have to figure out, you know, what I want my spacing to be like on those. I'm thinking like, you know, 1 inch. I think I could do these 1 inch apart. So 1, 2, and 3 inch. And then again, actually, I think I'll do a 1/4 inch. No, because I want to still be able to stitch around the edges. So I'm gonna still do that 1/2 inch. Yeah, I think I'll still do, you know, that 1/2 inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch, you know, just to make the slots a little bit wider, you know. I think 3/8 of an inch would be enough, and then I could still do my stitching. I'm just concerned about running into the eyelets with this, you know, the foot on the sewing machine. But to be honest, like I've had these go under the foot on my sewing machine before, and it doesn't really make that much difference. But anyway, so and then the 4x3, I think I'll just do this one with 2, and then this one I'll just have 1 slot. Okay, and it'll be a little bit wider. And then I'm also going to do some circle ones. So the circle one is pretty much the same as those, except for to find the center, I just folded that right in half and then measured in. I did a 1/4 of an inch from each end, just to give it as much width as possible. And then I did the eyelets, and I don't, if I was going to do some stitching around the border of these round ones, I probably would do that before I add the eyelets. Okay. I just didn't want the eyelets to come through the back of this, because I thought this would be really cute to use just like on the corner of a page, or even, you know, tucked into another pocket or something. I don't know. I just wanted to make some out of circles, or maybe use this as like a tuck spot on the edge of a page, you know, where you could put little things underneath it or whatever, or just down on the corner, and just staple it in place. So I wanted it to be smooth on the back is what I'm trying to say. I do have a larger, this is, I think, a 3 inch. I think it's a 3 inch punch. course, it doesn't say on it what it is. Oh yeah, I have a ruler. Yeah, it's a 3-inch punch. I have one that's the, you know, the frilly one. I don't remember what it's called. But it's in the other room in the dark, and Sebastian's asleep in there, so I can't get it. But anyways, so I thought that would be kind of fun to add some smaller circular items, like the little milk caps and those little metal rimmed tags that I have, and even just little things like little tickets and whatnot. So, and embellish those lots of different ways too. So anyway, so that's what I'm doing, and I'm going to make a gazillion of these, and I probably will actually wind up using some more of these postcards for these circular ones. And I'm going to see what other like larger size paper punches I have, and maybe do some other shapes, maybe do some little tag shapes with little tiny slots or whatever. Anyways, I'm just going crazy. So I'm going to get the holes punched in these and start making up some more of these little pockets. So anyway, that's what I'm working on today. And thanks for all your well wishes, you guys. I do appreciate it. And yeah, I'm still breathing. So, okay. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.